Yes, 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 guys. What's up, man? My name is Gerald Peters, and listen, I believe that anybody, regardless of your age, race, sex, or even your current financial situation, anybody can become financially independent in the next 5 to 7 years. And listen, this is the MFG Bitcoin Trade Report, and I think Bitcoin can help you do it.
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay. Right.
Okay, man. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Oh, hell. Let me bring me back up. Man. I'm back. All right, man. Good to see you guys. Man, what in the is happened to Bitcoin? Whoa! Bam! Crash, knockout, fall down, boom!
Yes.
Oh, man, it looks bad, man. It has come down. We're going to look into the chart real quick. I said this obviously email is probably inside of an email. If not, I may have posted it as well as we look and see what in the Freakonomics. I don't know if you remember that book, Freakonomics, is Bitcoin doing?
Parabolic increase in the silver market since 1980. And in each one, the silver price just goes parabolic for a very short period of time and then collapses back down. Is the third time going to be different? Only time will tell. I mean, there's some fundamental reasons why it may be different this time, but there are also,
it will be
the history in that market is that it goes through these parabolic rises, and that the right trade, if you look back historically, was to take your profits when they happened. I'm not giving investment advice. I'm just suggesting that folks go look at the history and use your own judgment, and be careful chasing these things, because they certainly can run. But I will also say, when you think back to, it was 1980 and 2011, I believe, were these parabolic rises in silver, and then they crashed pretty fast. If you go back and look at what gold and platinum and palladium did during those same parabolic rises in the silver market, they did not have parabolic rises like silver did. Now they are all having parabolic rises at the same time. So
something is different.
I'll let you draw your own conclusion.
All right, so that's the real reason Bitcoin looks broken right now. They weren't really
that last point on silver specifically is important. Silver has done this many times before, and every time supply responded. Every time price collapsed. In fact, Saifedean and Moose explained this years ago in the Bitcoin Standard. When silver rises, miners ramp up production. Supply floods the market, and savers get wrecked. Now, this time could be different, as Caitlin Long pointed out, but it's important to know the history. Gold, on the other hand, holds its role much better, but even gold is reacting to something much bigger than inflation. It's reacting to a loss in confidence. And here's where things get truly strange. Because while the world's oldest hard monies are going parabolic, the most powerful central banker on earth, the guy who turns the monetary dials and moves markets with his words, says it's no biggie.
As I'm sure you've noticed, gold and silver prices have experienced historic gains of late. And I'm wondering how much attention, if any, you pay to those moves, and what message you may take from these significant price increases we've seen for precious metals.
Don't take much message macroeconomically. the argument can be made it's that we're losing credibility or something. It's simply not the case. If you look at where inflation expectations are, our credibility is right where it needs to be. So we look at those things. We don't get spun up over particular can be made it's that we're losing credibility or something. It's simply not the case. If you look at where inflation expectations are, our credibility is right where it needs to be. So we look at those things. We don't get spun up over
We
our
don't get
credibility is
spun
right
up.
where it needs to be. So we look at those things. We
We
don't
don't
get
get
spun
spun
up over particular asset price changes, although we do.
Oh man, he said we don't get spun up. I thought that's funny coming from him. Let's look at the chart here. All right, so here we are looking at this Bitcoin chart. But if you didn't notice, Jerome Powell said he's getting spun up. We played that back a couple times. And according to the dictionary, that means to become highly agitated, angry. Getting spun generally means becoming highly agitated, anxious, angry, or overexcited about a situation. It can also mean becoming fully prepared or up to speed on a project, being misled by manipulated information. Well, I would hope the Fed wouldn't get, quote, spun up over asset prices, but they should pay attention to the oldest asset in the world, which would be gold. But here's what I find funny. It is also a term in the drug world. Being under the spun up is being under the influence of stimulants like methamphetamines. So maybe that's what maybe that's why they got the interest rates all jacked up. Methamphetamines. All right, so here we are. Let's pull this up here, and we have a full-blown Bitcoin crash. Is what it is. It's crashing right now as we speak right here. Let me pull this up. All right, first sign of a possible reversal right here. RSI is now at 25. Let's put this on here and see what it did. I'm going to put it everywhere that it's extreme. Boom, 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 maybe boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this was a high. And look, it was pretty much the high. This one was a low, right? So we know it's the first sign in a possible reversal. What's going on here? So let me see. Yeah, we got it. Boom, right here. Come on, man. Yeah. So that's not quite as easy, obviously. I would highly encourage you to do what I just did there. If you really want to get down the RSI and the different indicators and what it means for the MACD to roll over and blah, 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 put those lines right where they all line up and start hitting. And here we can take down that. But if you are looking for a place to trade, send me a text message, get on board with us. And as we track Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin's had a crash. Got short a little bit of it. The action was moving too fast, man, for me to get any sort of text message or emails out. Text I could have. I'm going to be adding text message to this. We talk about anchor points, right? Well, anchor points help create market structure, give traders something to trade against, making stop loss zones clear around market structure and not some arbitrary percentage number. I'm going to lose 10%. I'm going to lose 5%. Don't do that. You need to do it around market structure so that it makes sense because then you can see how far or how close is that stop. And based on that information, you can then decide what size position to take. So different way of looking at it. But that is one of the ways that we can control our risk. Jamie Dimon tells Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong he's full of shit in a Davos clash, according to the Wall Street Journal. Damn. Let's see. Man, it's not letting me pull this up. Sorry, guys, if I look weird. Yeah, so there it is. There's Jamie Dimon. I would like to tell him to shut the fuck up too. Not Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong is a great American, man. He's put himself at great danger and risk to provide the first publicly traded platform in America. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, found himself at the eye of a widening storm between Wall Street and the crypto industry last week at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and it got personal. Hey, I got an article coming out here shortly on this Davos thing. It's interesting. During a chance encounter over coffee with former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, you guys remember Tony? JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon abruptly cut in, pointing a finger and telling Armstrong bluntly, "You are full of shit." Man, he should have punched him right in the face. According to reporting from the Wall Street Journal, the outburst underscored some of the raw tensions happening between traditional banks and crypto firms over the future of U.S. financial regulations. It's on now, bitch. That's what he should have told him. He needs to be careful. Let's see. Hey, if you haven't had a chance, go on over to joepeters.info. See all my books and courses, anything I can do to help you. And hit that QR code up there. It's going to take you to my link. You can get on all 3 of the newsletters, but get on this one, the MFG Bitcoin Trade Report, and have my letter dropping tonight. Try to explain to you what happened here. So I won't go into too much great detail. And we can keep this short. I'm going to include that link in there for you, maybe. Good time to start picking up some Bitto. Bitcoin dips below 79,000 as the market digests silver sell-off and Trump's Fed chair pick. Now we got to deal with that every day with this guy. Cryptocurrency sank on Saturday with Bitcoin falling below 79,000. I'm going to tell you, it shocked me. We were sitting around 87, and I couldn't believe that fell, and then went to 84, then 81, back up. Now we're at 79. Fuck, man. A lot of people are going to be in trouble if we get too much lower. There's going to be a lot of leverage hits. Keep your eye out, man. If I would go to bed tonight, you might set your alarm, get up every couple hours and look. You might get a shot. Take it, pick up some much lower if somebody blows out, if a hedge fund blows out tonight. Slides follow the recent strength in the U.S. dollar following President Donald Trump's selection of Kevin Walsh as his choice for the next Federal Reserve chairman. Retail investors have also been buffeted by sharp silver sell-off on Friday, the worst day in the market since 1980. And unfortunately, I wish I wasn't even at the terminal then, so I couldn't take more off, or I would have taken more off. So worst day in, we're making fucking history every day here. Let's see. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Solana is the coin that I was planning to start accumulating this week. We may have to scratch that and just go back to Bitcoin. But, if you got a few bucks, throw it at Solana and XRP. Can't go wrong. Bitcoin, Cash, and Ethereum. That's the only ones I own. Only ones I care about. Don't give a shit about any of the others. Slumped as retail traders digest a busy week that saw wild swings in commodities and a long-awaited announcement by President Donald Trump on his choice for the next federal chairman. And late trading Saturday, Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by value, sank. It's also hope. It's also freedom. It's the only money, the only monetary value, the only stored value out there that can't be manipulated by the government. Sank below 79,000, down 6.1%. Ethereum slid about 9% and then lost it. Solana lost 10% to 105 a coin. PS, and by the way, my biggest move ever was in Solana. The slide in the crypto comes in the wake of Donald Trump's selection of federal chairman, and the U.S. dollar as it eased, which bolstered the U.S. dollar as it eased concerns about central banks' independence. Dollar strength may reduce Bitcoin's appeal among investors as an alternative currency. It damn sure will. That's it, man. On this chart, I'm gonna have it all marked up for you. If you get the letter. So I'm sending it out right now. We'll have this chart marked up. And right now we're at 78,798, and it's a fucking doji on an extreme. But the money flow is at 31. It hasn't hit extreme, but the RSI has. Oh, wow. I wasn't even sharing that. Let me show you that again. Here we are again. Let me take off what we took off here. Showed you how to do those lines. We're way underneath 100. The 200-day moving average is at 103. That's the target. This is when we bought gold. This is when we bought oil stocks. This is when we bought silver. Every big play we have had, this is when we bought it. When it put in a fucking doji or an anchor point 10 to 20% below this yellow line, all right, that's not mellow yellow. That's a 200-day moving average. When it did the stage one under there, these are the biggest moves, okay? So you have a chance here, if you weren't in Bitcoin, to maybe pick up something. But the thing about Bitcoin is it takes a long time. So we may be here for a while, which is fine with me. Let me pick up. But we're not going to stay underneath this 200-day, okay? Hey, I hope that helps, man. I really do.
The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever more. Forever.
Right. I mean, right. But I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
forever more. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor.